Hey everybody, it's Danny's writer. Finally doing my 100 follower Meet the Mun video, which, let's face it, I'm at like 122 followers, so I'm kind of behind on this, but given everything I've been going through the last however many months, it's, a little understandable. At least I'm getting it done. I don't have a lot of questions, but that's okay. I get nervous doing these things, so I'm probably gonna ramble, drop weird Lord of the Rings references, and fangirl about pretty much everything that I could possibly fangirl over because that's what I do. So, okay. So let's get ready to answer these questions. The first one is from Kayla, who plays Elle. So her question is, I have it in a nice little text format here so you guys can read it because, I don't want to have to talk too much and annoy you guys. That's not fun. Nobody wants to listen to me talk that much. So let's get going here with our first question. So I had a couple of things that really inspired me to make Dani. In the beginning, I was role playing under the supernatural fandom, and I was kind of inspired in the beginning to make her based on the episode about the Cambion in season 5. I just thought the idea of it was pretty interesting, and to think that he was the only one in the world that existed kind of struck me as odd. I don't know. I thought maybe, well, what if there's one or two others that they don't know about? So my inspiration was to make Dani a Cambion in the beginning and have her know what she is, but also be a hunter because she doesn't like what she is, so she's trying to go and stop all of these other demons from either creating more Cambions or hurting other people. And from there, it just kind of got a little stale after a while. I didn't really feel connected with my character, and I got thinking, okay, there's gotta be some other way for me to continue playing her. And I guess that's kind of where the whole Marvel Dani came in with the whole Hydra Red Room background. I just watched Winter Soldier, and I absolutely loved the movie. Oh my god, it was such a great movie. And it's been a while since I've actually roleplayed in the Marvel fandom, and I'd been looking for a way to get back into it because my Marvel slash mythology muse, who was more mythology driven than it was Marvel comics, this is Loki's wife, and I know no, excuse me, I know more mythology based stories about her than I do comic based, and it was just easier for me to write it that way. But when it came to Dani, the inspiration to make her with this new background, the whole she was in World War II, she was a nurse, and kind of working alongside Peggy Carter. It kind of came to me when I was trying to sleep, and like I said, I just watched the movie, and I was thinking, okay, there's going to be a way I can tie these two in. And I've got nursing background myself. I took 2 years of nursing school while I was in high school, which I do not recommend. Nursing is a great field, but doing it while you're still in high school is a lot of work, and it does not leave a lot of free time. Um, but bringing that into my role play keeps me remembering a lot of the stuff I learned, even though I can't do nursing anymore. So having that background for Dani was kind of inspired by my personal life. And then, the whole World War II, her having this younger brother who was really sick, and she was trying to find a way to save him, and come in Dr. Erskine and offer this potential way of maybe saving his life, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And I don't think I would have a hard time doing it all over again if I was given the chance. It's been a lot of fun. I love this new version of her, and I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot of fun in the future to see how she develops because she's already got such a great story and a lot of people like it. And then, for me, that's huge having enough people who love that new side of her, willing to give it a chance over and over again and to see where she's going to go and to help her. I think that alone inspires me to keep her going. So, I gotta thank you guys for that. Without you guys, I don't think I'd have been inspired to not only bring Dani back after not playing her for a few years when I, first brought her to Tumblr and keeping her going this long. It's been almost 2 years since I've brought her back, and it's crazy to think that it's been that long that I've been playing one character. But yeah, that's pretty much my inspiration, mixture of real life and the movies or TV shows. So yeah, on to the next question. Okay, so that question was from Richard, who plays Dani's Bucky, for anybody who's been under a rock and isn't aware of that yet. Um, no, honestly, my biggest pet peeve, I would have to say, is the forcing of a romantic relationship between two characters. It doesn't work in real life between people, and I can't stand it in books or movies when the whole we're gonna force these two together even though they don't really work that happens. And I've had it happen before with Dani, and it just, I don't know. Maybe it's what I've been through personally that I can't really role play it. It just kind of gets on my nerves after a while. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Oh, God, it's hard to answer these without everybody being like, "Oh, we hate you. What are you doing? We're gonna take you and throw you into Mount Doom." Ah! Oh God, see, there I go. Holy crap, I apologize. Oh God, you know most of them already because I talk about them on Twitter. The fangirls who take things too far and um God moding. Yes, God moding. Okay, because I was thinking, oh, we talk about God moding all the time and how people have these characters who are insane and it just doesn't make sense what's going on. But yes, God moding. Oh God, nothing destroys my desire to continue a role play than somebody who God modes. Which, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's an overpowered character who has very little weaknesses, and they just have ability on top of ability, and it just keeps going from there. And it makes it hard for me to reply, almost as hard as it does, say, if somebody's like writing my character's actions for me, which would be called buddying, and some people consider it god moding too. Um, yeah, I think those are kind of my top three biggest pet peeves. I'm pretty, I've got a lot of them, but some of them aren't as bad as those three. So I don't know. I think that's kind of the quickest way to ruin me role playing with somebody is to do, all of that. And then there's the whole I'm going to continuously pursue your character even though you're saying no. But that's a different story for another time. Let's get on to the next question. Okay, so that question was from Richard also. Okay, finding the right thing to tell you what inspires me is kind of difficult because it's a lot of things. It can be a song, just a certain line in it, even, can inspire me to come up with some great idea or a plot or, really anything. Somebody saying the right thing or talking about something that's happened to them, I can draw inspiration from that somehow. Find a way to twist it into a role play maybe, or certain movies can inspire me, even if it's just a character. And wow, it's a really difficult one to answer because there's so many things that inspire me and keep me inspired. I guess, at the risk of sounding completely cheeseball, the people I roleplay with are kind of my biggest inspiration. They keep me going. If I don't have them around, I just kind of sit there and stare at this laptop screen and think, okay, what am I supposed to do now? Yeah, I don't know. It's just hard to narrow it down to one specific thing that keeps me inspired, but there's just a lot of them. I guess I'll go with that. This seems like such a cop out answer, though. I'm sorry. Um, gosh, I don't know. This is a hard one to ask. What the heck? Here I thought math questions were going to be hard to answer, which are going to be, the next two questions. Um, jeez. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go with the cop out answer, and try to answer you again at a later time, and be like, oh yeah, you remember when you asked me this question? This is the answer. I kind of lied in the video. It's just this one thing here. Have at it. No, I guess listening to music, if I had to pick one thing, is kind of what keeps me inspired. If I don't have the desire to write, I usually just put on my favorite album or my favorite song, my favorite group, depends on, my mood. I'll just sit and listen to something and, wait for words to hit me. Sometimes it's the only thing I can do. Okay, so that was Matt's first question. My favorite fandom. You would have to ask me that, wouldn't you? It's so mean. I don't play favorites. Oh, grr. No, I'm just joking. My favorite fandom would have to be Marvel. I know it's kind of like oh well that's an obvious thing. You roleplay the Marvel fandom right now. Yeah. Well, I've had a character in there for at least 4 years, if not 3. It's 3 or 4. I can't really remember the time I made her, but as to why I like roleplaying in that fandom, I think it's because people are more welcoming there than I've seen in other fandoms. And it's just you can fit characters in there easier. And it's just not a world of superheroes only, or a world of hunters if you're in supernatural, or walkers and survivors if you're in the Walking Dead fandom. It's easier to fit whatever idea you have into the Marvel world, and people are accepting of it. And that's what I love so much. Everybody's been so welcoming of Dani since I've remade her, and I think the acceptance comes from the fact that you just, like I said, don't have these superheroes only. It's normal people. You have Shield agents. You have Hydra people. You have people on the street who don't know any better about the world that they're actually in, or these wars that might be happening around them. And see, now you're making me geek out over the Marvel fandom. How horrible are you? No, I'm just picking on you. I'm picking, really. No. It's a good thing that I'm geeking out, I think. I think that shows that I'm actually into the fandom, and, I don't know. I kind of grew up around Marvel, and, DC, and the whole, which one's better, Marvel or DC Comics, and, I don't know. Having a bunch of older brothers, I guess it was kind of natural that I fell into to liking Marvel at a young age. It was probably when I was about 8 or 9 that I started getting into it. And I don't know, it's just one of those things that's been a constant in my life. I've always liked Marvel. I've always liked the shows they've had, the movies. Well, with the exception of some, like, Daredevil. We don't mention Daredevil. I'm sorry. Not that Daredevil. There's a new Daredevil who does apparently a lot better job than, Ben Affleck. But we won't go there because that'll get me talking about Batman, and then I'll start making Nightwing jokes, and Richard will glare at this video, so we're gonna avoid that. So yeah, Batman's going that way. We're talking about Marvel. So yeah, Marvel, me, and Dani kind of mesh pretty well together. I know enough about the fandom to be able to pretty much interact with most of the characters if I wanted to, if, I wasn't completely shy and awkward, which, I am. So, yeah, Marvel, definitely, because I know it, and because people are welcoming. So, there's that. Okay, I'm gonna go on to your next question now, because the whole DC Comics Batman thing is coming back to haunt me, and if I don't shut up now, I will make jokes. So, next question. Okay, if I had to change my face claim for Dani, I think it would probably be a toss-up between Evangeline Lilly and Kate Beckinsale. I've used the both of them as face claims before for actually the same character who was a witch. They both got a lot of great stuff I could use, and I actually used Evangeline Lilly as an older version of Dani for her Walking Dead blog that I got rid of a few months ago. And Kay Beckinsale actually used some of her things for my videos. And yeah, I kind of sneak them in there because you can't really see her face very much unless you pause it and you stick your face to the screen and look. Even then, I'm not even sure you'd really be able to spot it because it'd be all up close and blurry. The interesting thing about Dani is she's already gone through a couple of face claims before I got to Lindsay. The first one, when I first made her, was the lead singer for Lacuna Coil. She had a couple of good ones, but it was so hard to find a lot of icons for her. So, that combined with the fact that I had no direction to take her in, I deleted the account and then brought her to Tumblr about a year or two later and brought her in with Jessica Biel as a face claim because the whole Blade Trinity, she had all of these images and icons and everything that would work for it. And I don't know, after a while, I realized maybe it wasn't the best fit for Dani's personality. And a friend actually suggested that I maybe use Lindsay as Dani's face claim. And I kind of fell in love with it and got into Nikita and realized that, yeah, she kind of fits Dani a lot. And at this point in time, I really can't see anybody else as Dani. So it'd be really hard for me to change my face claim if I had to. But yeah, I think Evangeline Lilly and Kate Beckinsale would be one of the ones I would choose. There was a couple of others, but I can't remember their names. So I'd have to get back to you on that one, on Twitter sometime. But yeah, that's just the top two that come up off the top of my head for it. Oh, this is a really good question. This is another one from Kayla. Uh, I'm trying to figure out which one I should start with first. Let's go with the least favorite. I think that's as kind of the shorter list because I can't say, oh, it's everything. I don't know. I'm not a fan of her drinking. I've never been that big of a drinker myself, and I don't know. Her having this huge alcohol problem really gets to me. I mean, I understand it's part of her way of coping, and it was an intentional thing. I just didn't realize it was gonna bother me that much in the end. I know I plan on having her get sober and finally dealing with her issues. Um, I think one of the other ones is the way she can get so dark sometimes. Being trained to be a killer and doing everything that she did in the past for Hydra, she gets really dark, and it's really kind of creepy and scary for me to have to write that. I mean, I love writing dark characters and really bad villainous people. Apparently I'm good at it. I don't know. That's what I've been told. But at the same time, for me, knowing what Dani's really like, this really caring and loving person who's got this really great personality, to see her go from that to fall to this darkness that she's got in her, it's challenging, but I love it at the same time. So it's kind of least favorite and most favorite. So it's kind of in a gray area. I don't like that she's so emotionally shut off. That I kind of blame on myself because I think it has to do with my shyness a lot of the times, kind of seeping through into her because she does have her moments where she's shy too and doesn't know how to communicate how she feels with people, and she's constantly worried about how they're going to judge her for it. and that really, comes from me. And it's kind of one of my least favorite qualities of the both of us, I guess you could say, not being able to be open with the people we really care about, and being able to voice the things we want to when we need to. Um, my most favorite things, I think, come back to her personality, about how she's so caring and loving to the people that she, can actually get close to. And when she does do that, she's extremely loyal. Like, she's, again, like me, in a way. She'll defend the people she cares about until she can't defend them anymore, either because they become unredeemable or, she's gone. Um, Not to mention the fact that she, in a way, is, again, like me, people can say what they want about her, she's not gonna care. She'll kind of laugh it off, maybe get a little upset about it, but when it comes down to it, you mess with the people she cares about, she becomes a completely different person, and she becomes so sarcastic and protective and everything, and it is kind of adorable when she gets going. I love her sense of humor, which seems weird because, trained killer, she's got this humor, what's going on? This isn't right. What? But no, she's got a really good sense of humor, which, she's kind of got to have if she works with Tony Stark. I mean, if you don't have a good sense of humor and you work with him, you're going to end up trying to smother him with donuts or something, Yeah, I don't know. There's just so much about her that I like and don't like, that I would probably be here all day answering this, and I'm going on over 4 minutes answering it already, and my throat's killing me, so, I'm gonna call it good for now, because I don't want to ramble completely about, my likes and dislikes and everything, because knowing me, I'd start going off about, something else, and, yeah, I don't think anybody really wants that. So, that's my Meet the Mun video for my 100 followers, or 100 plus, I'm sorry. Like I said, this is the part where I, kind of get all sappy and try not to cry. Actually, no, I won't cry. I promise I'm not that bad. Thank you guys for asking questions, and of course, thank you for following me. That means a lot, having so many people follow an original character and actually like them well enough to continue following, to get invested in their storylines, and actually get into their ship that they have, which I promise I won't start going on about Dani and Bucky. That's a whole conversation for another video probably, and if I were to start that, this would be a lot longer, and I don't think I have the voice for it. My throat's, giving out on me right now. It's screaming for mercy, throwing in the white towel. But yeah, thank you guys again for following, for the video questions, and hopefully, if I end up doing another one of these, as shy as I get with them, I actually do enjoy doing them. Hopefully I'll have a better time frame for, you guys to have the time to get your questions in, and we'll see what happens. I've managed over 100 followers. If it keeps going, then that's awesome. We'll see what happens in the future. So, yeah, thank you guys again.